Hey everyone, I have to be honest with you. I'm genuinely blown away by what happened this week. OpenAI just dropped GPT-5 Codex, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this could be the most significant leap in AI programming we've seen yet. But here's what's really got me thinking. They didn't just release a better coding model. They quietly started rebuilding their robotics team after a 5-year hiatus. And we just got the largest study ever on how hundreds of millions of people actually use ChatGPT in their daily lives. When I first read the technical specs, I had to double-check the numbers because they seemed almost too good to be true. An AI that can code continuously for over 7 hours? That improves refactoring accuracy from 34% to 51%? That knows when to sprint through simple tasks and when to settle in for a marathon on complex problems? This isn't just an incremental upgrade. This is a fundamental shift in how we think about the relationship between humans and code. Let me start with what makes GPT-5 Codex so different from everything we've seen before. The headline feature everyone's talking about is this 7+ hour continuous working capability. But that's actually not the most impressive part. What really gets me excited is how intelligently it scales its effort based on task complexity. When you give it something straightforward, maybe fixing a simple bug or writing a basic function, it processes that in seconds and uses 94% fewer tokens than regular GPT-5. But when you hand it something complex, like refactoring an entire codebase or architecting a new feature, it doubles down, it spends twice as long reasoning. Testing, iterating. This dynamic thinking time tells us something profound about how OpenAI trained this model. They didn't just feed it more code examples. They taught it to think like a senior developer who knows when to move fast and when to slow down and really consider the implications of what they're building. The benchmark numbers back this up in a big way. On the SWE Bench verified dataset, which tests AI systems on 500 real software engineering tasks pulled from actual open source projects, GPT-5 Codex scored 74.5% accuracy compared to GPT-5's 72.8%. Now that might sound like a small improvement. But in the world of AI benchmarks, especially on real-world tasks like this, every percentage point represents a massive leap in capability. But here's where it gets really interesting. When it comes to refactoring tests, that gap widens dramatically. GPT-5 managed 34% accuracy while GPT-5 Codex hit 51%. That's not just better performance. That's crossing into territory where the AI is genuinely useful for one of the most challenging and time-consuming parts of software development. I've been thinking a lot about what this means for developers. And I keep coming back to this idea that we're not looking at replacement but transformation. When an AI can handle the grunt work of refactoring legacy code, debugging obscure issues, and writing comprehensive test suites, it frees up human developers to focus on what we're uniquely good at: understanding business requirements, designing system architecture, making strategic technical decisions. What's equally impressive is how OpenAI has built out the entire ecosystem around Codex. This isn't just a model you interact with through a chat interface. It's a comprehensive development environment that integrates seamlessly with the tools developers already use every day. The command line interface has been completely rebuilt around what they call agentic workflows. Instead of having to write long, detailed prompts describing what you want, you can now share screenshots, wireframes, charts, even rough sketches, and Codex understands the context immediately. The IDE integration is where this really shines. When Codex is plugged into VS Code or Cursor, it can see what files you have open, understand the code you've highlighted, and provide relevant suggestions without you having to explain the entire project context. It maintains a running to-do list of what it's working on, integrates with web search when it needs to look up current best practices or documentation, and can even connect to external systems through the Model Context Protocol. They've also solved one of the biggest pain points in AI-assisted development: the approval workflow. Instead of having to manually approve every single action, you can choose from 3 different modes, depending on your comfort level and the nature of your project. Read-only mode requires explicit approval for everything, which is perfect when you're working on critical production code. Auto mode gives the AI access to your workspace but still requires approval for any external actions. And full access mode lets it read files anywhere and run network commands when you trust it completely with your project. The performance improvements they've achieved are remarkable too. They've cut average task completion time by 90% through container caching, which means Codex can reuse development environments instead of setting everything up from scratch each time. It can auto-detect common installation scripts and configure its own environment, and with configurable internet access. It can grab dependencies on the fly using standard commands like pip install or npm install. But let me tell you what really impressed me when I dug into the real-world usage data. Within just 2 hours of launch, Sam Altman tweeted that GPT-5 Codex was already handling 40% of all Codex traffic. By the end of the day, it was on track to take over half. That's adoption at a speed that's almost unprecedented in developer tools. The reason for this rapid adoption becomes clear when you look at the code review capabilities. In tests on open-source repositories, regular GPT-5 made incorrect comments about 13.7% of the time, while GPT-5 Codex cut that down to just 4.4%. At the same time, the share of high-impact, genuinely useful comments jumped from 39% to 52%. It's not just making fewer mistakes, it's providing more valuable feedback while being more selective about when to comment at all. Inside OpenAI, Codex is already reviewing the majority of pull requests and catching hundreds of problems every day before human reviewers even see them. Think about the compound effect of that. Not only are developers getting better code reviews, but the human reviewers can focus their attention on the architectural and strategic aspects that really matter. Now, while everyone's been focused on Codex, OpenAI has been making some very interesting moves in robotics that I think are getting overlooked. Remember, they completely shut down their robotics research back in 2020, officially because of insufficient training data. After a 5-year pause, job postings started appearing again in January, and now we're seeing them actively hire experts in teleoperation, simulation, sensing, and prototyping. The hiring of someone like Chanuli from Stanford, who worked extensively on humanoid household robots, tells us a lot about their direction. This isn't about industrial robots or narrow-purpose machines. They're targeting general-purpose humanoid systems that could operate in everyday environments. Here's what I think is really happening strategically. OpenAI realized that their language models, especially the coding capabilities, are the missing piece for truly autonomous robotics. A household robot doesn't just need to perceive its environment and make decisions. It needs to continuously adapt its behavior through real-time code modification. When your robot encounters a new situation, it needs to be able to write, test, and deploy new behaviors on the fly. This creates a fascinating vertical integration opportunity. Language understanding enables better human-robot interaction. Code generation enables adaptive behavior. And physical embodiment provides a testing ground for both capabilities, while generating the kind of real-world data that could push them toward artificial general intelligence. Tesla has Optimus, Boston Dynamics has Atlas, but OpenAI has something potentially more valuable. Software intelligence that can write and modify itself in real time. Hardware can be copied and improved, but that kind of adaptive intelligence is much harder to replicate. Speaking of real-world usage, we just got fascinating insights from the largest study ever conducted on how people actually use ChatGPT. OpenAI's economics team partnered with Harvard's David Deming to analyze about 1.5 million conversations. And with roughly 700 million weekly users, this gives us an unprecedented look at AI adoption in the real world. The demographic shifts are particularly interesting. In January 2024, about 37% of users had typically feminine names. By July 2025, that number reached 52%, essentially mirroring the adult population. This suggests we've moved past the early adopter phase dominated by tech-savvy males into genuine mainstream adoption. Growth is especially strong in lower-income countries, rising more than 4 times faster than in wealthier ones. This makes perfect sense when you think about it. AI tools can level the playing field by providing access to capabilities that were previously only available in developed economies with expensive infrastructure and specialized expertise. The usage patterns are equally revealing. About 50% of interactions are what they categorize as asking, using AI as an advisor or consultant. 40% are doing drafting, planning, coding, executing tasks, and 11% are expressing, creative writing, brainstorming, playing with ideas. Roughly 30% of usage is work-related, while 70% is personal. But both categories are climbing steadily. What strikes me most about this data is how it shows AI becoming integrated into decision-making processes. People aren't just using ChatGPT to get information. They're using it to make better choices. increase productivity, and explore possibilities they might not have considered otherwise. As the models improve and people discover new use cases, we're seeing this positive feedback loop where better capabilities drive deeper engagement, which generates more data to improve capabilities further. This brings me to a question I keep getting asked. How does GPT-5 Codex stack up against the competition? GitHub Copilot is strong in its integration with the Microsoft ecosystem, but it struggles with complex reasoning and long-form tasks. Claude Dev excels at code explanation and has impressive safety features, but lacks the infrastructure and scale that OpenAI brings. Cursor AI provides excellent user experience, but its underlying models aren't as powerful as GPT-5. The advantages that OpenAI brings to this competition are substantial. They have 700 million weekly ChatGPT users generating massive amounts of training data. They have the cloud computing infrastructure to handle 7-hour coding sessions. They've built a complete ecosystem from API access to command line tools to IDE integrations. And they have the capital to continue intensive research and development while competing with other tech giants. But the risks are real too. Microsoft owns GitHub and could leverage the entire Windows and Azure ecosystem to make Copilot the default choice for developers. Google has deep integration with Android development and Google Cloud services. Amazon has AWS developer tools and could bundle coding AI with their cloud services. What we're seeing is the early stages of platform wars and AI-assisted development, and the winner won't necessarily be determined by who has the best model, but by who can create the most compelling end-to-end developer experience. This leads to the question that I know many of you are thinking about. What does this mean for developers and the broader software industry? Will AI replace programmers? My honest answer is no, at least not in the next 5 to 7 years. But it will dramatically transform how we work and what skills are most valuable. Junior developers will probably feel the impact most immediately. Tasks like writing basic CRUD APIs, fixing simple bugs, and creating standard test suites, the kind of entry-level work that new developers often start with. These are exactly the things that AI is getting remarkably good at. This doesn't mean junior positions will disappear, but the bar for entry-level competence is definitely rising. Senior developers, on the other hand, may find their value increasing significantly. As AI handles more of the tactical implementation work, human developers can focus on strategic decisions, system architecture, performance optimization, security considerations, understanding complex business requirements and translating them into technical solutions. We're also going to see entirely new roles emerge. AI code reviewer, someone who specializes in auditing and validating AI-generated code. Prompt engineer for development, experts at communicating effectively with coding AI systems. AI-human collaboration specialists who can orchestrate complex projects involving both human and artificial intelligence. The skills that will be most valuable going forward are changing too. Prompt engineering is becoming as fundamental as debugging used to be. System design and architectural thinking are more important than ever because AI can't replace big-picture strategic thinking. Code review and quality assurance skills are crucial because human oversight remains essential. And deep domain expertise, really understanding the business context and requirements, becomes a key differentiator because AI needs that guidance to be truly effective. Looking ahead, I see some clear trends emerging over the next few months and years. Within 6 months, I expect GPT-5 Codex will have broad API access. Competitors will release similar long-form coding models, and IDE integration will become a standard feature across development environments. In the next 1 to 2 years, AI coding agents will start handling entire features. Not just individual functions, real-time collaborative coding between humans and AI will become mainstream, and we'll see the shift from thinking about code generation as a tool to thinking about it as pair programming with an AI partner. Looking 3 to 5 years out, AI will start participating in architectural decisions. Automated testing and deployment will become fully AI-driven for many types of applications. And the connection between coding AI and robotics will create breakthroughs that push us significantly closer to artificial general intelligence. The biggest opportunity I see right now is for startups focusing on specialized AI coding for specific domains, healthcare systems, financial applications, gaming engines, embedded systems. General-purpose AI like GPT-5 is incredibly powerful, but specialized AI tools for particular industries or use cases can create strong competitive moats. For individual developers, my advice is straightforward. Start using these tools now. Don't wait for them to get better or cheaper. Familiarize yourself with AI coding assistants today, so you're ready as the technology evolves. Focus on developing skills that complement rather than compete with AI. System design, stakeholder communication, domain expertise. For tech leaders and businesses, the ROI calculation is becoming clearer every day. A ChatGPT Pro subscription costs $200 per month per user. The average developer salary is $8,000 to $15,000 per month. If AI improves productivity by even 20 to 30%, the return on investment is obvious, but there are hidden costs too. The learning curve, integration time, and the risk of over-reliance on AI systems. Teams need training not just on how to use these tools, but on how to use them effectively and maintain the human skills that remain essential. I do want to acknowledge the legitimate concerns and challenges we're facing. Security is a big one. AI-generated code can introduce vulnerabilities that human reviewers might miss. OpenAI has implemented sandboxing and other safety measures, but enterprise security teams rightfully have concerns about code quality and intellectual property protection. There's also the risk of over-reliance leading to skill atrophy. If developers become too dependent on AI assistance, they might lose fundamental programming skills. This is especially dangerous for junior developers who haven't yet built a solid foundation. The economic disruption is real too. Coding bootcamps and entry-level positions may be significantly impacted. As a society, we need to think seriously about how to help people transition and what new educational approaches make sense in an AI-assisted world. There are also questions about quality versus quantity. AI can generate massive amounts of code very quickly, but is that code maintainable and sustainable in the long term? Technical debt could accumulate much faster if we don't have proper oversight and review processes, and we can't ignore the ethical considerations. The training data for these AI models contains code patterns that may be biased or problematic. The reproduction of those biases in production systems is a real concern that the industry needs to address proactively. But despite these challenges, I remain optimistic about where we're headed. GPT-5 Codex represents more than just a new AI model. It's a paradigm shift toward true human-AI collaboration in software development. The early adopters, both individuals and organizations, will have significant advantages. The skill transformation is happening faster than most people expected, and the infrastructure and ecosystem are just as important as raw model performance. The connection between coding AI and robotics hints at OpenAI's much bigger vision for artificial general intelligence. They're not just building better tools, they're building toward a future where AI systems can understand, modify, and improve themselves in real-world environments. The question isn't whether we're ready for this change. The change is already happening. The question is whether we'll adapt quickly enough to benefit from it rather than be displaced by it. Those who learn to leverage AI to become better versions of themselves will thrive. Those who resist or ignore it will struggle to keep up. Technology has always evolved, and the people who survive and thrive are those who learn to adapt and grow alongside it. So instead of worrying about AI replacing us, let's focus on learning how to work with it to achieve things we never could have accomplished alone. The future of programming isn't humans versus AI, it's humans with AI, and that future is more exciting than anything we've seen before.